Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, the Corvette is still behind us. Now the last video that you guys saw was the A&A fuel system install. You know, we went to go test it, but we ran into a problem. The problem was the car only had 5 volts. Like, well, how does that happen? Well, as you guys can see over here, we've got the Braille or Braille racing battery out of the car. And as you guys can see, it's only making like 6.5 volts, like something like that. And it is on a battery charger, battery tender. So I went on vacation last week and I had that battery charging in the car for 7 days. I came back, it was still 5.5 volts. So I decided just to pull the battery out of the car and let it charge overnight. And it's only gone up roughly 1 volt. I would ignore the 7s. I think the 7 is just it pinging, you know, off the charger itself. But, so we've only got roughly 6.5 volts. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to go take this battery, go get it tested, and see if this battery is any good. And I've already been in contact with the manufacturer, Braille or Braille, and they have a 12-month, no questions asked warranty on it. The second year is covered by a prorated warranty. Unfortunately, we're within the 14 or 15-month time span of that warranty, so I'm going to have to buy a new battery. But it is only going to be around like 50 bucks because it's prorated. Let's hit the road, go to AutoZone, and find out what's going on with this battery. Alright guys, as you can see, we're here at AutoZone, and they tested the battery, and it's bad. It was actually so low that they put it on a charger for a while, and they tested it again, and it's just a bad battery. So I'm going to get this thing boxed up. We'll get it sent out to Braille or Braille, however they say it, and we will get a new battery hopefully. So we'll pick this up then. Alright guys, it's been about 10 days since we sent the battery out for replacement or, you know, warranty work to Braille or Braille down in Florida. And as you guys can see, we have a new battery sent back from them. And we sent that battery out on a Tuesday. We got it back the following Friday. So just about 10 days turnaround time from me sending my battery out and them sending the new battery back. And the shipping was probably like $16 to ship it, and I sent it ground. Yeah, I think it was UPS ground. Yeah, that's right. And so I shipped it Tuesday, they got it Thursday, and they shipped the new one back obviously like Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday of the following week, and I got it back that Friday. So around 10 days to replace the battery, which isn't horrible. Could be longer, but so I also have been waiting for this battery to finish up the Corvette. So now that we've got the new battery back, let's go ahead and show you the voltage. We'll get the battery installed and go from there. Here's the new battery from Braille. We've just got some alligator clips on it, and those are simply just holding the positive and negative test leads for the voltmeter. And as you guys can see, we've got roughly 12.6, 12.7 volts, give or take, on the new Braille battery. Alright guys, I have fully primed the fuel system, so that includes the Z06 pump that's in the stock fuel tank. I also have primed the Holley fuel pumps that are, you know, out on the frame back behind us. So we've done that. You guys could see I actually got the fuel rail pressure up to like 30 psi. Actually, it's 20 and falling, but that did say about 30 psi, so we're good there. I just don't know, you know, how the return's working and all that. So let's go ahead and try to fire the car up, and we shall see if it fires and how it's going to act. So let's go ahead and fire this up. Our charging system is at like 12 volts, something like that. So let's go ahead and try that again. All right. All right, let's try it again. Well, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting the car not to fire up. You know, we're obviously getting fuel. It's trying to ignite. We obviously have something, you know, not plugged in right. we don't have a check engine light. It's almost like maybe the Z06 pump is not got enough fuel in it, but it's got a quarter tank in it. I just put 5 gallons. I poured 5 gallons into the car, so I know we have plenty of fuel. So let's try this one more time. Okay, I don't know. We'll take a look, see if we see anything unplugged. You never know. We've been working on the car for a long time. Something might be not plugged in. So I just looked over all of the wiring, the mass airflow sensor, the throttle body, coil packs, fuel injectors. You know what I left unplugged? Fuel pump relay. When I jumped the relay to help prime the fuel system so we get some fuel and make sure the lines don't leak, yeah, I forgot to plug it back in. So it's interesting that I was able to actually have enough fuel just priming the relay, priming the relay, then also priming the A&A pump, and for the car to run. Like, it was running for a little bit, then it just died. So after we ran out of fuel, that makes sense why it wouldn't fire up and stay running. So now that we've plugged the fuel pump relay back in, let's try this again. All right, so let's turn off some of the accessories, get it out of reverse. Air conditioning's off. Let's go ahead and try to fire it up. Alright guys, there you go. We have the fuel system fired up, and it is freaking loud in here, wow. And it looks like we've got about 60 PSI. 58, 60 PSI of fuel. So I actually have that fuel pressure sensor wired in and plumbed in before the fuel pressure regulator. I was going to put it at the regulator, but I don't have enough room with the T-fittings and the sensor size that I have right now. We'll have to work on that in the future. But I actually have that right before the fuel pressure regulator, so that is kind of unmetered fuel, and that's coming in off the passenger side of the car, going through the fuel rail lines that we made and before the regulator. So that would be unregulated fuel pressure. And it's good to see that we have almost like 58, 60 pounds of fuel pressure. So let's go ahead and check over the rest of the car, make sure nothing's leaking, and we should be good with this first fire up. All right, guys, you just saw the Corvette fire up, and you saw me rev it a little bit there, so we're good. One thing you guys might notice in the gauge cluster video is that there's no oil pressure. I just looked, and somehow I unplugged the oil pressure sensor. So what we're gonna have to do is get back there and actually lower the back half of the engine down. I'm just gonna loosen up the subframe mounts, drop it down an inch or two so we can get some space back there to just plug that sensor back in. I have fired this car up probably 7 or 8 times now. I've been running it, I've been revving the piss out of it. I mean, not to like 7 grand or anything, but definitely 5. Blown out any cobwebs, anything like that. The really only thing I've noticed is the rear O2 sensors. I really need to kind of zip tie those back up. I could just really unplug them, but you're still gonna have harness there. But I kind of have to zip tie those a little bit better. They are sitting near the X-pipe in the catback system, so I got to do that. And like I said, the oil pressure sensor. Those are 2 things you guys really don't need to see, but we're almost there. We've got to put the car back together. I've got the fender liner up front. We've got the fender liner out back. We've got a bunch of screws and bolts and just a bunch of little stuff to get this car back on the road, and we will have the first test drive in another video. I think this video is already going to be pretty long with the demonstrations and stuff. So that's it. We've finally figured out the electrical. We figured out the fuel. We figured out the new fuel system. And just a lot of new parts have been thrown at this car. So we've got some, obviously, test and, I don't know, we can just go ahead and call it a test too. We've got some more driving tests to do before we go get this thing re-dynoed. So, as always, we will keep you guys up to date. We'll have more progress videos and eventually, hopefully, the dyno video. But before that, I really need to go get the car inspected because we're already a little bit past our inspection date. Oops. Well, it kind of happened with vacation and waiting on this battery. So we'll get the car inspected, go get it dynoed, and we'll update you guys from there. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you guys want to subscribe, please do. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification button. And as always, make sure you guys go check out the new website, BonecrrusherSS.com. It's got all of our apparel items, stickers, keychains, and all that good stuff for sale. Again, BonecrrusherSS.com. And that's going to be it. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.